You think Costco makes money selling cheap stuff in bulk? The 48-roll pack of toilet paper. The rotisserie chicken that's somehow still $4.99. The hot dog and soda that has cost $1.50 since 1985. It looks like a giant store winning on volume, it isn't. Costco barely makes a profit on anything it sells. The real business is a card in your wallet, and almost every dollar of profit comes from one annual fee. Here's how it looks from the outside. Costco sold about $238 billion of merchandise in fiscal 2024. That is an enormous river of groceries, electronics, tires, and giant tubs of mayonnaise. So the obvious story writes itself: buy huge quantities, mark them up a little, sell to millions of people, pocket the difference. Volume retail. The Walmart playbook, but bigger pallets, and the volume is real. Costco runs warehouses the size of airplane hangars, but stocks only about 4,000 product types. A typical supermarket carries 10 times that. Fewer items means more of each one. More of each one means crushing leverage over suppliers. So Costco buys cheaper than almost anyone, and you'd assume that buying power becomes profit. But look at the margin and the story breaks. A normal supermarket marks goods up enough to keep a gross margin in the 20s or 30s. Costco runs a merchandise gross margin around 11%. It deliberately keeps that number low. Company policy famously caps the markup on most branded products at roughly 14%, and on its own Kirkland Signature brand at about 15%, even when shoppers would gladly pay more. When suppliers offer a special deal, Costco mostly passes the saving to you instead of keeping it. Costco could charge more, it chooses not to. That is not how a company behaves if selling merchandise is how it makes money. So either Costco is the worst-run giant in retail, or the merchandise was never the point. So where does the money really come from? The card. In fiscal 2024, Costco collected about $4.8 billion in membership fees. That same year, its total operating income, the profit from running the entire global business, was about $9.3 billion. Sit with those two numbers. The fees alone work out to roughly half of Costco's operating income. About 52 cents of every dollar of operating profit comes not from the $238 billion of stuff on the shelves, but from the simple fee you pay just to walk through the door. And membership fees are almost pure profit. Think about what it costs Costco to collect one. When you renew your card, Costco doesn't have to manufacture anything, ship anything, or stock a shelf. The warehouse was already built. The lights were already on. The cost of producing one more renewal is close to zero. So that fee revenue drops almost straight down to the bottom line. Compare that to merchandise. Every dollar of stuff Costco sells carries the cost of buying it, moving it, storing it, and staffing the floor. The merchandise, all $238 billion of it, is run close to break even on purpose. The fee is run at near total profit on purpose. The store is the bait, the card is the business. There's a tell hiding in the financials. Look at net income. The final bottom line after everything. In fiscal 2024, Costco earned about $7.4 billion, and the $4.8 billion in fees equals roughly 65% of it. And it gets sharper the year before. In fiscal 2023, membership fees of about $4.6 billion came to roughly 72% of net income. Read that again. A company can earn nearly as much from the fee to enter the store as from everything sold inside it. No grocer on earth survives on 11% margins. Costco does because the 11% was never supposed to feed it. The card does that. Now, why does this work? And why doesn't everyone copy it? Because the two halves feed each other in a loop most retailers can't pull off. Costco caps its markup, which keeps prices genuinely lower than almost anywhere else. Low prices make the membership feel worth it. A membership that feels worth it gets renewed. And renewal is everything here. Costco's worldwide renewal rate in fiscal 2024 was about 90.5%. In the US and Canada it was closer to 93%. Around 76 million households pay every single year, about 137 million cardholders in total, and roughly 9 in 10 keep paying. A renewal rate above 90% is something most subscription businesses only dream about, and Costco gets it on a fee people pay before they buy a thing. That recurring fee changes how Costco can behave. It doesn't need each banana or each television to turn a profit, because the profit is already locked in by the fee. So it can squeeze suppliers, sell that rotisserie chicken at a loss as a draw, and keep the $1.50 hot dog frozen in time since 1985, all to protect the one number that matters: the renewal rate. The cheap merchandise isn't charity, and it isn't a loss they tolerate. It is marketing spend that keeps the real product, the membership, selling itself. You can see the same logic out in the parking lot. Costco runs more than 700 gas stations worldwide, and the fuel is usually priced to be among the cheapest in town, and only members can buy it. The gas barely needs to make money. Its job is to pull you onto the lot every week, because a member who fills up is a member who walks inside, and a member who keeps coming is a member who renews. The cheap fuel is another magnet for the card. Then there's Kirkland Signature, Costco's own house brand. It's only about 15% of the items on the floor, but it's roughly 30% of what Costco sells. In fiscal 2024, that one private label moved on the order of $86 billion, bigger, on its own, than Kraft, Heinz, or Procter & Gamble. Kirkland lets Costco offer name, brand quality at a lower price, which makes the card feel even more worth it, and deepens the same loop. The house brand isn't a side hustle, it's another way to protect the renewal. And there's a second loop on top of the first. The premium executive tier costs about $130 and pays you back 2% of what you spend, up to a cap that Costco raised to $1,250 in 2024. Sounds generous. But to earn that reward back, you have to spend thousands of dollars a year at Costco. And executive members there are about 35 million of them, and they account for roughly 3/4 of Costco's sales. The structure rewards exactly that. The cashback costs Costco relatively little, because executive members tend to spend much more and are among the most valuable members to keep. The reward isn't a gift. It's a leash that turns the renewal into a habit. You don't quit a club you're actively winning at. And the fee can quietly climb. In September 2024, Costco raised the U.S. annual fee to about $65, with the executive tier at $130, its first U.S. increase in 7 years, since 2017. That single change touched something like 52 million memberships. Multiply even a small bump across that many members and you've added hundreds of millions in near, pure profit without selling a single extra cart of groceries. Because, remember, a renewal costs Costco almost nothing to produce. So here's what Costco really is. Not a store that happens to charge a fee, a membership club that happens to run a store, where the store exists to keep you renewing the card. Once you see it, you start seeing the pattern everywhere. The product on display is rarely where the money lives. The gym makes money on the members who don't show up. The airline makes more selling miles to banks than seats to flyers. The thing they hand you at the counter is the bait. The money is somewhere quieter, somewhere recurring, somewhere you already agreed to pay. Next time, we follow the maze. The furniture giant that gets you to do the shipping, the assembly, and somehow thank them for it. That's IKEA. And the money is not in the furniture.